Hey there, hope you're having a great day, evening, whenever you're watching this. This is Tracy Brown, your somatic nutrition dietitian. And this week's theme has been about support. And, in some of my other posts, we've been talking about that piece of metal, that scale. And I'm going to go a little deeper with how to work with things that maybe we're spinning on or we're scared about or whatever it is. So some of this video is going to be inspired by a really, a lovely client who was very encouraging of me to share some of this with you all because it was really helpful for her and she wanted me to share it. So I'm not going to share details of anything, but just to let you know about the theme of part of our conversation. So a lot of times when we have to go do something, whether it's eat a bigger meal, choose to slow down, to get more clear about hunger and fullness, just do something different, anything different than what you're typically doing. It can bring up, even if you're not behaving, again, I'll just share this with this client. She's not actually behaving or doing the things that in this certain circumstance she would typically do. So she went and did the thing, but the buildup was so intense and so overwhelming that she was just miserable. Now, once she got to the thing and did the thing, had a good time, and it was all aligned. Like the whole circumstance was good, it was safe, it was aligned with her values, everything about it was great. It was just that buildup of it being something that, it had always been associated with being scary, bad, overwhelming, can't do it, it's too much. And so something we talked about is in these circumstances, or maybe it's something you really know is a normal thing to do, you want to do, because maybe it's a normalish thing, like, again, eat what you want, wear what you feel comfortable in wherever you go. What's something else? Oh, just let yourself have what you want. The idea of that can sound amazing. You want that. But it also can mean, like, this is a new thing for me. And that's enough to rev up our systems to feel like, oh, something's new happening, it must be bad. Or it must gonna go bad. Or something bad's gonna happen. And that's where people get stuck, because there's those old associations, those old neural pathways. And before we can even think, usually we're off to the races in fight or flight, and then we might, shut down. So we have to, again, bring ourselves back to, again, who's on our support team, and what are we using on a daily basis to practice regulating ourselves to be able to do when it's time to do these things that are important to us, like eat more food, check in more, slow down with our eating to make sure we like what we're eating, to notice where that last bite moment is, that satiation point is, or to be out in public with your food and body in some way, to get really clear about those resources and to start to do them on a daily basis before the change happens, before you have the thought of oh, I'm going to go to a new restaurant I've never been to, without counting the calories, or without getting really nervous and worked up and event restricting all day, or body checking yourself all day, or whatever it is you're doing. And so this gets really clear about what matters to you. Okay, and this is where this conversation with my client went, is we kind of worked backwards, okay, how did everything go? And everything that went aligned with her values of being with non-judgmental, non-surfacey, I guess I'm just going to say non-shallow people. That's really important for her. Being in a situation where the people with her are all safe. Having good food she liked, not just what she felt safe with, but what she liked and what she wanted. All those things she really values. So it's okay, if that's what you really value, and that's what you're knowing you're getting ready to go do, how can you bring that to the moment where you make that decision to help prevent some of the buildup? So that's kind of what we worked on. And I'm going to do a longer post about kind of how we did it. I'm going to work on that this week. So hopefully that'll be out next week or the week after. I think I'll get that out for us the week of 4th of July. That way it's something you can use if you end up doing some different activities that you're not used to. So anyway, it's just really important to get clear about your values, why you want to do the thing, what's important to you about it, and then bring that into your everyday life of just noticing where those are. It's like, again, it's opening your eyes to the good versus assuming that something new is going to be bad and scary and you can't handle it or it's too much. Because if you're watching this, I know you've already done some hard things. And it's just that old scared part in our system that thinks like, oh, something new, I can't do it. I get revved up. I go to my defensive strategies of, restricting or body checking or weighing or measuring or calorie counting or binging or whatever I'm doing. And just to recognize that we need to be practicing our self-care and our resources every day so that when something new happens that is actually aligned with what you value, it's not so scary. So I hope this helps. And a lot of you know when I say resources, that means like your internal resources, your external resources. So it could mean external and internal resources are reaching out to people you really trust, that know what's going on with you and your system, that know your history. That's really important. It could be that you're written out list of ways that you can soothe your system. Your general self-care around like not total distraction, but something that brings your system down enough to like work on other regulatory kind of things. It could be that one of your resources like, when I get scared, I need to fall back on my default, which is maybe some contained, semi-structured eating, or maybe very structured eating, in terms of like eating every 3 hours, or I need to have minimal choices. So here are 2 things that always work for me if I don't know what I want. Until you can get back to some regulation. Because oftentimes if we're trying to make a food decision or make a decision about how we feel about ourselves through that fearful fight or flight or frozen lens, it's going to look pretty distorted, and we're probably not going to be happy with the result. We might survive it, but again, I'm not interested in you just surviving your life. It's like, let's work on thriving here. So I think that's it for now. I want you to start making a list of your resources and your values. And so that kind of borrows from ACT, a little bit of like, are you actually spending your time doing the things that you say that matter to you with your food and body and how you take care of yourself? Or is it like, it looks like that in other parts of my life, but with my food and body, like I totally leave myself in the dust. That needs to be a part of your values list, how you treat yourself as well with your food. Because then it'll be incongruent, then you'll get scared, and then the cycle continues all over again. Because I think deep down inside we know when it's like out here we're doing some things that look right and okay and good and are good, but inside we are going to feel abandoned, and that's what revs up that old fear system, or shame, or feeling like I need to people please more to get somebody else to meet my needs, or whatever's going on. So all this is really important. I would love to hear about it. If anyone wants to share their list of resources here, and that way other people can get some ideas, that would be great. I'll be making a little bit more detailed summary of all this on the blog post that will be coming out to accompany this video really soon. So hope you're doing very well, and I would love to hear from you. What are your resources to help keep you connected to your values? And that needs to include how you treat yourself and talk to yourself and look at yourself through soft eyes about your food and your body. All right, y'all, thank you so much. If this video was nourishing for you, I would love for you to pass it along to people that they could be nourished as well. So thank you so much, and have a good one. Take care.